Hello parents, welcome to this quick short video on how to check on your students' progress when it comes to schoolwork they've been doing over these past few weeks. And to get us started, what I want to show you guys are three main apps that you'll need to have downloaded before we get started. So you'll need to have Gmail downloaded, you'll need to have Google Classroom downloaded, and you'll have to have Google Meets downloaded. Those can all be found on the App Store here, this blue icon. Make sure that they're downloaded before you even get started. But to get us started off, first I want to show you guys is how to access Gmail. So whatever device you're using for this student's work, just find this app, tap on it, open it up, and if they haven't signed in yet, this screen will show up. So we'll go ahead and sign in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a test account we've been using. Make sure you tap on the Google icon here, tap that, continue, and then you just it'll bring up a sign-in page. So this is where their email goes. So you should have been provided your student's email at some point this year. So enter that in. So I'll enter my email in here. This is just a test account. So student127 at trinitycomp.ie, and they'll all look very similar to that. They'll all end in at trinitycomp.ie or .student at trinitycomp.ie. Enter your password. Easy. And then you'll hit next once more, and that should take you straight into the student's Gmail account right here. So this is all their emails here that they should be getting over these past few weeks. And so this app will then be used for communication mainly with from teachers to students. So if you haven't heard anything in a while, check in just to make sure that they've been looking at their email. Maybe they might have missed something. Yearheads have also been using this as a way to communicate with students as well. So moving on then, if I go back, hit my home button, we will now talk about Google Classroom. So that's right here, Google Classroom. So we'll tap on that icon. It should bring up, now since you've already signed in on Gmail, it should automatically bring you into that student's account, but if it hasn't, it might bring up something that looks like, if I click add another account here, it might bring up something that looks like this. Go through the same process you went through with the Gmail app, enter email, enter password, and it'll take you to your page that looks something like this. Now this is all the Google Classrooms that I've signed my test account up for. Your students should look similar, just with more classes going down the way here. So what I'm going to do is I have on my timetable that you should have been walked through already, I have first year science today. So I'll tap into first year science, and it'll bring up a page that looks like this. This is the class's stream. This is the class's stream. So this is like their Facebook feed. This is where they'll get a bunch of information from the teacher on a day-to-day basis. This is probably a bit easier to navigate through than just sifting through a bunch of emails. So now, for example, every morning when I have science, I will put up a short post on what today's work might look like. That's here. Then to access the work, going to the bottom of the screen here, tap in classwork. This is where you can find all your students' work for each classes. You can also see a due date here. If a teacher is assigned a due date, that's when it needs to be done by. So we can tap in, say for work that was due today. Once you've tapped in, it'll give you instructions on what to do. I personally have uploaded videos that you can find. If you need to find a video, you can go back to where it says stream, tap on one of the newest where it says attachments. It'll bring you into where you see here. You can tap on a YouTube video for them to watch, and then they can go back to classwork, tap into the work, and then if you go down to the bottom, tapping this arrow here, they can turn in their work here. Okay? The last thing we need to do is if we go back into first year science, and now say it's Wednesday at 11:40, we have first year science, we need to go to a live class that the teacher has prepared for that day. So when the time comes around, if this live class starts at 11:40, just before that, we will go find this icon here, the little camera button. The student will tap that, and then that'll open up automatically Google Meets. Now I haven't prepared one yet, so that's just brought me to an empty page. But if the teacher had prepared one, had it already opened, like it would have been, this would have taken them directly into the Google Meets, where they will be having their live class, and they're all set to go. But that's why you need to have it downloaded already, because if not, it wouldn't take you straight into the meeting. So once you have all three of these downloaded, you're set to go and follow the instructions on this video. The last thing is, if we go back into Google Classroom and you find that a student doesn't have all their classes there, they're missing some for some reason, all you need to do is, if you contact the student's year head, the year head will then be able to get in contact with the teacher, or we might find another way to give you guys a class code. Once you've been given the class code, you find this little plus button here in the lower right hand corner of this app. Tap that and enter the class code. That will enter that student into the classroom, and that class will then pop up somewhere on this page here. If you're trying to find out where their classes are, just tap this button here and then tap classes. It'll always bring you back to this page here. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope to see you all soon.